What's up, good people? Welcome back to Ultimate Purpose, man. It's your boy Rob, and you know I'm giving y'all that spiritual sauce, man. I stay with me, you dig? But I just wanted to do a little recap on some of the topics that we talked about last episode, and this time I came prepared. I actually got a few different topics. One thing before we get into it, man, I just wanted to tell y'all some, everything that I talk about with y'all is literally like it's stored up here. I got a file cabinet where all the years I've been doing studying into God's character, I got it locked away up here. I just want to show y'all something real quick so y'all can understand, not so much as you can trust what I'm saying because of me, but because of it being God's word, His word being law. You always test the spirits. You always test the spirits, meaning that if someone tells you something about God, in order for you to know that it's real, you go straight to Him in prayer and ask Him to reveal it to you about that person or that issue. But this is just a little something to let you know, like, man, I haven't really been, like, I show, if you on my Instagram and you go to my page, you'll see that I showed a few things, a few documents once. Man, listen, I've really been studying, so I'm just gonna put some of this up here so you'll know that for future references, when I do these type of little shows and these type of videos, I know what I'm talking about. I refuse to be made a fool by an atheist or somebody like that. You dig? But check it out. I'm gonna go a little slow just so y'all can see, like, it's actual. Like, I took time to actually listen, observe, retain the information, and then write the information down, understanding what I learned. Okay? Remember I said something about those channels, those credential people of God that's on YouTube, Stephen Darby, you see his name right there. Just different types of, I was good in school at notes. I'm just giving you guys a few things too. You can write them down yourself too, Let me know some things like that, man. Let me like, I'm talking about when it comes to the Bible, just the Bible, not even YouTube. Like, I done that, kid. You see where it says from Genesis. These is breaking down the lineages so I can see exactly where I came from, even as a black man. You dig? I'm tomorrow really do it. I'm just holding up that long enough for y'all to see before I get into this session with y'all. So y'all can see, like, I really took the time to write these things down. You understand? And so on and so on, right? But today, like I told you, I'm just going to touch on some of those topics that I talked about yesterday, just to recap. It was more of a beginner, just so I won't dive right into it and my viewers won't understand what I'm talking about. I started with those baby steps, but I told you I could run with the big dogs. And like I told you, I do all this just off of, Holy Spirit led. Not just writing stuff down. This what I'm finna show you as far as when it comes down to me writing down what I'm gonna talk about. This is the most I do. Everything else comes from my mind. Just so y'all would know when I start speaking about what I'm talking about today. These are the topics. So y'all would know. Okay. Now, first of all, I explained the whole thing with the devil and him being in the garden, and deceiving Eve and everything, to get you to understand what this mysterious evil deity, what his whole point is, and what it got to do with you and your life. Okay. I'm gonna go a little bit deeper, so you're gonna have to keep up with me today, because it ain't gonna be so much as the basics like it was the last episode. Everyone has heard the story about Cain and Abel. People always use it in a reference to brothers who, you know, one is a goody two shoes and one is a bad boy. Okay, that's what the world mostly refers to that term as when they're using it. Okay, in case for you guys who don't know who Cain and Abel is, Cain and Abel was the sons of Adam and Eve. Okay, now I'm just kind of skipping spots so I can get to the gravy of the whole story. So the point of the story, Cain was basically the serpent. He came from his lineage, and Abel came from Adam's lineage. Okay, Cain killed his brother in the garden. The reason why he killed his brother in the garden, this has something to do with pride, the same thing that Satan fell from heaven for. Cain felt like God acknowledged his brother Abel's gift more than he did his. But the thing that Cain was failing to realize was that it was the way he was giving God his sacrifices. It was the way he was doing it. Meaning Abel gave it wholeheartedly when Cain didn't. Okay? God seen this one time. He asked Cain, why hast thou countenance failed? Meaning, why is you looking sad? And basically he told him, if you come at me wholeheartedly as your brother do, won't I accept your gift just as well as I accept his? Because he accepted Abel's sacrifice and he didn't accept Cain's. This was the reason why. Cain developed jealousy in his heart. One day he was out working in the field, and he seen his brother, and he called Abel over to the field to come over there, and he slew his brother, stoned him to death in the field. God came walking through, and he asked, a short time later, God came walking through, and he asked Cain, where art thou brother? And this is where the worldly saying come from, am I my brother's keeper? It came from Cain. He actually had the nerve to get smart with God and say that. And God told him, thou brother's blood cried up from the ground to me. Okay? That's what he told Cain. So, after God basically told him he had to go, right? Now you got to stay with me. After God told him he had to go, he was basically trying to tell God, trying to plead with God, like, I'm going to be a vagabond. Whoever see me, you know, I'm going to be a vagabond amongst the men. Whoever see me, they shall kill me. God told him, no, they won't. Because whoever kill you, they're going to have an X on their back and they're going to be 7 times as cursed. Now, remember that. God told him that. Okay, so Cain left, and this is where the city came about. See, God ain't a city type of person. He's more of a country type of person. Cain began to build the cities up, okay? As time went on, and my point in this is the topic that you're saying, Cain being the first person of the human race to enter hell, okay? Cain, he went older, he went on to live life, and he had children and grandchildren. Well, one day, his children, he had his grandkids, his grandkids, he had them out and they was hunting. Well, his grandkids ended up seeing him from afar away, and they thought, because Cain was a hairy guy, big hairy guy, and they thought he was a beast. They shot him and killed him with an arrow. Okay? Thus, Cain being the first the first person of the human race to enter hell. Now I'm gonna give you a visualization on what he experienced as being the first of the human race to enter this type of place that wasn't even made for humans. Now remember, when Satan was thrown, he took a third of the angels from heaven with him. Now, I'm going to pause right here so you can understand that part. When Satan was in heaven, he basically had angels doing things in heaven that wasn't supposed to be done. okay, that was against God's order, okay? God ain't this old waiting with a baseball bat over his shoulder, waiting for you to do something so he can hit you over your head with it and punish you. He not like that. He a merciful God. This is why he God. Satan did this, and he actually had like some of the angels behind him, like really doubting God, even though they seen all the power that God that he did. They seen his infinite power. They still doubted him because in their minds God was allowing Satan to do that. So maybe Satan is right. So there was a when God just when he got fed up with it, he kicked them out. Michael the archangel is one of God's top angels. He one of them dudes. Okay, he a warring angel. Okay, Michael and his angels fought with the dragon and Satan, which is Satan. I'm sorry, Satan and his angels, and they lost, which is Satan them, and there was no longer a place for them found in heaven. Michael the archangel them kicked them out of there. Now picture this. Angel was the most beautifulest angel. Satan was the most beautifulest angel that God created. Okay. Picture like a football, with the sparks of a rocket. You know how a rocket take off and it got those sparks. Picture that. This is God's redemption zone. When Satan was blown out of that redemption zone, this is where he turned ugly at. And you get the pictures off TV of him looking like a demon with the horn. This is where all that come from, because he lost his beauty. He didn't lose his anointing though. Keep that in mind. Okay. Where was I? Cain into hell. When he died, he woke up into hell, and he walked in like. And when the demons seen him, they was like, do you know what we finna do to you? Like, you made in his image and we hate him. Like, we hate him. Because they got a pure hatred that your mind don't even understand as a human. For God, they hate him. So, mind you, he took a third of these angels with him when he left. That's millions. Just that third, that 1/3. That's millions of angels. Each one of them had some type of time in taking turns in torturing Cain. He was the first human there, the only human there at that time. Picture that. Draw for that real quick while I go on to my next topic. Okay. If you caught what I said in the beginning, Cain tried to plead his way with God and say, I'm gonna be a vagabond, because basically he killed his brother, and in them days how could I put it? For him to do that act, that was leeway for him to get stoned to death in them days for killing his brother like that. See how times changed? But anyways, when he tried to plead with God and I'll be a vagabond, and God told him, no, you're not. You gotta understand, God is a man. He cold. He told him, whoever kill you, they're gonna have an X on their back 7 times. Who killed Cain? His grandkids. Before I continue, anything that I'm telling you, like I told you in the beginning of the video, test the spirits. Take it to God and ask, whether it be about me, whether it be about what I said. I'm sure it's going to be confirmation, not because I'm gloating or boasting or something. It's just that I love God and I'm so hungry for this thing, and I love to know what I'm talking about. But with that being said, that's the thing about Cain. That's the story about Cain, man. Him being the first human being of the human race in hell. Now, I want to talk. Stop right there and bring it back down to reality. You know what I'm saying? Back down to earth. And I want to discuss something. I told y'all I really got into this thing back in 2016. Like real deep. It was this one guy by the name of Baruch Shai, BaruchShai, Baruch Shai was his name. I remember when I told you I was starting to dig further into the character of God. I came along, right? I had crossed this. So I came across. I started watching it because I'm like, man, this dude sound legit. And when I say man, he was digging off into Satan's plans. I'm gonna tell you what them people did, and you know what I'm talking about when I say them people. He had at least a good 2 runs. I never went to his channel and went to the uh you know how it gives you the videos, the community part, and you can hit the part where it shows how many views and how long the channel has actually been up. I never got a chance to do that, but I have been watching him since 2016, and I know that the last video when I tried searching his name up, it was in 2017. He was giving raw, when I say, man, like raw material. Like the material was so raw, they couldn't do nothing but either try to back him off. And from the sound of how he was a man of God. He wasn't. It was a no. It was a no go. So it was either they shut him down, however they shut him down, or they was gonna try to back him off. But he was driving on he was driving on them people. Trust me. He was exposing the fact of like, man, y'all look at these TV shows and these movies, man, and then y'all be lusting over these broads that's not even really females. They be men. Like the deception go that deep. It goes that deep. You think you looking at a woman, and you know what I'm saying, and you catching a woody or whatever, excuse my language, you catching a woody or whatever it may be, and it's a man the whole time. It's a man. But your mind is in such a reprobate mode that you giving over into that. You're not even looking at the fact like it's a little bulge or something right there in her throat, or her shoulders is made like a man's shoulder, or her jawline is made. You just looking at the fact of the lovely lady humps. You just looking at that. You did? And he knows this because he studies. When I say he, I'm talking about Satan. He knows these type of things. He steps back. He launches attacks. You know, he's not all knowing like God. He just take educated guesses. You know, he looks at the pattern of what have you done before in the past when this happened. That's all he do. You know, he's nothing really special, you know. But anyhow, this dude Baruch Shah, man, he was going hard, man. He was exposing like the industry, like how dudes was doing, you know what I'm saying, homosexual acts, mainly like Satan's puppets. He was exposing this. And man, like I went to go check that dude's channel like towards the end of 2017, man, he was nowhere to be found. He was nowhere to be found. He had raw info. And this was another thing that had gave me the motivation like to really start making these videos, man, cause you know, like I told you in the last episode, man, I'm real and I can't go for nothing that ain't, you know? So with that being said, man, I just want to give y'all a little story about, you know, before I even came to this level, you know, within God, within life, period. Man, I used to be in the streets tough. And I stayed strapped up. Anybody who watch these videos and they from the city and they know me, Joe, they know. Like, man, like no hesitation, Jack. No hesitation, Joe. That's one thing my father taught me before he passed, man, rest in peace. It's either me or you. It's either me or you. And I tell y'all that to tell y'all this right here, man. I done learned so much from that, man, from that street stuff. And you know, like I done escaped 25-year bids, you know what I'm saying, from doing stuff. I done escaped, you know, robbery cases, just all type of stuff, man. And I told God I'm done playing. I'm done playing because I know that's also a tactic of the devil to let you think you're gonna keep on getting away with it, and then bam, smack you. Either be death or a long time in jail, you know. But my point in saying that is this right here, man. I want to tell y'all a story. Like I told you, all of the information that I get, man, is as a collective that I be telling y'all is from me studying other channels, me studying the Bible, and you know, having time with the Holy Spirit and God, you know, and just having a Christ-like mind, you know what I mean? 85% of my time is this what I'm telling you about. The other 15, I used to make music, you know what I'm saying? So now it's more like 90% and then 10% of me listening to my music. I don't watch no TV. I couldn't tell you anything about any type of sports, no quarterback, none of that. I really don't know nothing about cars. I just know how to drive them and put gas in them. My wife, she tells me about the reservoirs in the car, idles, all of that. My wife do. I tell you no lies because I'm a man. But those things of the world where men, where people think, oh, this is a manly, this is a macho type of thing right here. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Man, listen, I don't really know nothing about it. I just know that I'm alpha. That's all I know, is I'm an alpha male. Okay? Now, with that being said, I told you, man, I come from the streets, man, and I had seen a lot of stuff, man. I seen dudes get popped, and you know what I'm saying, they had to wear, you know, a poop bag on them or whatever. I seen dudes get changed altogether, you know what I'm saying, to where one day they was talking like this to you, oh yeah, man, what do? And the next day it's kind of like, oh yeah, because a situation happened. Though they probably made it through that situation, it still changed everything mentally. You dig? They ain't the same person no more. So I want to go over this point right here, man. I see a lot of guys, man, especially young guys, man, they be doing all of this type of stuff right here, and you know, they like to do all that and do all that, you know what I'm saying, and basically because that's what they think that's cool, right? Something you got to understand is this right here. One, you have to ask yourself, if he's a blood, he's a Crip, he's a GD, and he ain't even nothing, why is they all doing like this? And I know that them type of guys right there, they don't rock with each other. So why is they all doing the same handshakes? And then it just so happened that these guys is the ones who on TV getting pushed. Why is that? It's because they know that doing this is paying homage, is worshiping Satan, the God of this world. They know that. And they know that the whole little thing I explained to you about his tactics about Satan, someone selling their soul to the devil and they getting millions and they're pushing his agenda, that goes hand in hand with that. One of those guys or one of those females, you see them up there doing all this, they got 1 million followers or something, all those 1 million followers is doing this. Well, guess what, man? Those 1 million followers is going to follow them right where they going to their destination, which is hell. People don't think like that, though. You understand what I'm saying? People don't think like that. People don't think like that. But I'm here dropping these jewels like this, man, because I know what's required of me. To whom much is given, to much is required from. This is definitely one. Even if you don't have a lot, God is still requiring that you let other people know, because basically what you're doing is you saving souls, man. You saving souls from eternal damnation. Okay? In case you never heard this, these is facts, big old facts. For every one person that enters the pearly gates of heaven, there's 1,000 people going to hell. That's a staggering number. For every one person that God say, well done, my good and faithful servant, and he let them come into the kingdom, there's 1,000 that's going to hell. Now, with that being said, let's dive into this. There was a vision one time that the Holy Spirit had gave that it's gangbangers in hell too. I remember seeing the guy was like maybe 6'2", 6'3", and he had his skin was like of a reptile. It was of a reptile. Like his skin, like imagine the mouth of like a snake, you know, but a human form, skin like big squares where in between it was glowing, in between his face, it was glowing. It was like a reptile, right? And the scene switched where you could see this guy, he was riding down the highway. It was like California or something like that, maybe Vegas or something like that. I know it had palm trees, something like that. So it had to be like Vegas or California. He riding down the highway. He riding down the highway, and he loading up his guns. He rolling up his gun like automatic. He loading them up, and then You see him like this dude was a murderer. He used to, when he was on Earth, he used to smack. When I say get busy, the boy used to get busy. So this is what he did. Anyhow, he was riding in the vision. He was riding. He loading up his gun. And when he would pull up on his target, you could see the look in their eyes. It was kind of like because they was caught, and he fat him down. Okay. Well, in this vision, it was him that ended up dying, but you can see him in the car, and when he roll up to his victim, as soon as the window come down and he do like this, him and the demon switch places. So it's him, instead of him being in the car loading up shooting, it's him getting shot. And they just keep replaying over and over. This was his part in hell. Then the scene switch where you can see a demon, like I was telling you, he was 6'2" or 6'3" or something like that. Reptile looking face, but he had the physique of a man. He was hollering at the damned. He was hollering at them. And he was telling them he was like, oh, you don't get no F? Oh, we like that. We like that. We don't get no F either. We like that. But his face was like, the words can't even imagine it, man. It was he had a real grimace look on his face. He had a real grimace look, and it was the damned, they was terrified. When I say terrified, like human words, like earthly words can't even imagine what I'm trying to explain. It can't even explain what I'm trying to tell y'all. Earthly words can't. Like, they were so terrified, like, seeing these deities, you know what I'm saying, screaming at them and talking how they talk to them. You understand? Like, in case y'all don't know that, like, yeah, y'all see, yeah, gang members get busy up here, but there's gang members down there too, and they for real, they vicious. I'm going to give you another vision, something that I seen. I'll talk about the George Floyd situation, since that's the most recent when it comes to cops. Okay, you see these cops, man, these corrupt cops, they all through the world, right? They all through, it's been life. It's just corrupt cops, and then there's some good cops, okay? Well, I'm going to tell you what I seen for the destiny of the corrupt cop. So, any corrupt cops, I hope your buddy's listening. So, I don't know, maybe this cop, he was maybe he worked the earth. Maybe he was on Earth and he used to work the squad, the force. Maybe it looked like it could have been in the 60s or the 70s. But anyways, this dude used to rape women, and he used to beat black men. He used to beat them. It wasn't only black men too. I seen Mexicans too. He used to beat them, and he was a crooked cop. Well, he ended up dying, and the scene switched, and you can see 6 or 7. When I say muscle bound, like these bodybuilders and Mr. America, and nothing compared to these demons, Jack. I reiterate, nothing compared to the muscular, like they physique, nothing compared to it. Anyways, this crooked cop, he was surrounded by 6 or 7 demons, and they was dressed in police uniforms. And they had the police weapons, like the batons and the nightsticks, but then they had weapons that the earth had never even seen before. Had never seen before. And when I say that they was tormenting him and they was beating him to a pulp, like he was getting beat so bad that he was definitely feeling it, but he was kind of like in a daze because they was hitting him. And when I say they was hitting him, like the force from the blow, like if he was on Earth, the force from the blow in the head where they was hitting the cop, it was hard enough to crack the concrete. That's how hard they was hitting him, hitting this man all in his head like that. This was the destiny of the corrupt cop. I'm just telling you facts. Test the spirit. Go to God with it. Yeah. I wanted to, I like to, I like to answer questions. You know what I'm saying? I like to think that I'm answering questions as I'm narrating these videos, man. So that's why, sometimes it may feel like I'm stopping, I'm pausing, and then addressing a certain thing that I'm saying. I like to feel like that. You know, I'm answering questions. I'm narrating these videos. But I want to talk about marriage, man. I've been married since 2012. I've been married since 2012 to the same girl. Never cheated on her. Never beat her. None of that. You know what I mean? We had our times, you know, one always peaches, but right now today I'm still with the same girl. And I was talking to one of the older guys, man, that I rock with. And we was going over the subject of, cause he had his junior there with him. He do like 20 years old, 21 years old or something like that. And we was discussing the fact of lusting. You know what I mean? Looking at a female, whether you marry or not, and you know, I had to just pull his coattail or something and let him know, like, you know, even though he older, you know, I'm 35 years old, he going on 70. You feel me? In his mind, he felt like if you're single, it's okay to look at a woman, you look at a lovely lady humps and start thinking about what you would do or whatever, or fantasize about that woman in your mind if you're not married. But see, what I had to explain to him was it's still a sin either way, whether you're single or you're married. Because one, you don't know if that woman got a boyfriend, baby daddy, a husband, or none of that. That's number one. Number two, God didn't make that for you to be lusting after every woman. See, me, I know better now because I've done so much studying. But it's all type of things, man. You got witches that's walking around in human form, real witches. They walking around in human form and easily can capture your style, make a covenant with you, a mental covenant with you, just by you looking and lusting. That's why you should study. As a man, you should study so you can know. What I was gonna say was, I'm sorry, y'all. Excuse me. I gotta cut this on, man. I like to have the light so everything could be, you dig? But I was explaining to the big homie, like, yes, that is lusting. And this is why a lot of people go to hell too, is because they got hidden sin in their heart and they don't even think, like, in their minds, they don't think that that's wrong. Like, for example, let me rephrase that. They got hidden sin in their heart, and because whatever it is that caused them to sin, they don't think that that's wrong. That's the reason why it's hidden, because they don't think that whatever it is wrong. Okay? I just want to tell you, before I get up out of here, man, I wanna touch on these topics of these fake pastors, man. I talk about hell and Jesus Christ a lot because that's what matters. A lot of these pastors, these mega churches and all that, they preach these. Excuse me, y'all. I gotta cut this back on because you know I like to keep my light jumping, and these is all hooked together. You get under dig. Okay, we back. Like flapjack shit is. But these mega pastors though, so you can understand that they get something from the government called 501(c). This is basically a package. Look, you preach this, and you don't talk about none of that other stuff. Okay, you don't tell them about the condemnation of going to hell for eternity and being separated from God for eternity. You don't talk about basically all you talk about is prosperity. You talk about financial blessings, you know what I'm saying? And you minimize Jesus Christ. This is doctrines of devils, if you ever heard it. That's what this is. So the mega pastors, they agree. They come into covenant with the government and take these 501(c)s, and you know they have these big old churches. You don't have to worry about a crack or a leak in the ceiling and the pipes or nothing like that. They're gonna make sure they got it all, and then you get whatever type of tax breaks and everything else. That's how you see all this. I'm gonna give you an example. My mother and my sister and my nephew, shout out y'all. I love you, basically, Mac. I love you, Mama Do. They stay down there in Georgia, right? And when I was down there, man, I ended up visiting Creflo Dollar. A lot of people know him. He one of those mega pastors. When I was down there, the people who stay in Atlanta, they told me that Creflo Dollar is the biggest pimp on Old National. He the biggest pimp on Old National, you dig? But when I got to seeing stuff, I said, hey, he just might be. But that's all he preach. That's all he preach. Now I'm gonna give y'all a story. This is real drip right here that I'm finna give y'all, man. I was messed up one time down there in Atlanta, man. You know, I didn't really. I was down there on probation. For a gun charge. I was doing my paper. I was doing my probation down there because I got in trouble in Minnesota, and I wanted to finish it off correctly and not get in more trouble. Because I knew if I had to stay down here and try to execute my paperwork down here, I would have got in trouble. So I went to Georgia, and when I was down there, man, it's nothing like back home. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really gotta work and you really gotta eat. You really gotta eat. And man, I really didn't know too much nothing about that, man. I ended up going to Creflo Dollar's food shelf one time, man, and it was inside of his church. Now this church, it's like this church is ridiculous, man. It's like a mall or something like that. They got security things, you know, the beep beep, the little monitors when you walk in there, you gotta walk through, make sure you ain't got no guns or nothing. They got those. They got security guards right along next to a clerk where you gotta sign in when you walk in before you even go into the church part where you sit down in the congregation and look at him preach. Before you even get there, you gotta go through all of this, man. Like, blew my mind. But I went down there. And you know, they wanted to know about my taxes. They wanted to know about my W-2s. They wanted to know about all type of stuff. I was like, wow, I never heard of that. But this is one of those prosperity gospel teaching preachers right here. God exposed them all if you just pay attention. It's not that, oh, God bless me, you know, I'm really a man of God. That's the reason why I got this big old church. No, that come from, you know what I'm saying, jugging. They come from jugging, how them boys say down south. They come from jugging, for real. Though these pastors, they gonna have to answer to God, man. They care about their money right now. And trust me, it's sad. It's sad, man. I'm gonna tell y'all about this. Billy Graham, man, he was a mega pastor when he was here. White guy. When I say that, like, man, you gotta check him out, cause even though what I'm finna get to tell you is so, I still rock with him. I still love him because his message was man, it was heavy. His message was real heavy. He wasn't playing no games when it came to the word of God, but he ended up going to hell anyways. After doing so much preaching amongst just throughout the whole world. Like, when I say, like, the man that went to, like, the gutters in Chicago, Illinois, and preached to the inner youth, the black inner youth in there. Like, everybody know Billy Graham. Well, through my studying, I found out that Billy Graham, he made a deal with, don't quote me word for word when it comes to the people, but it was, I believe it was some type of president meeting or some type of thing like that they had in his day, right? It was in his prime when he was like in his 30s or something. He signed some type of covenant with them, and that's where his name got blotted out of the book of life. When he signed this covenant, I believe it was for fame, and he had already been big. He didn't even need it. But, you know, Satan being the slickster that he is, you know, and it broke my heart when when the Spirit of God showed me that. Like, this man did all of that. Billy Graham is his name, man. Check out some of his stuff on YouTube, man. He raw business, man, for real. But he lived here, man, and he passed. He ended up, after working for God that whole time, man, supposedly working for God that whole time, man, he left and then he went with Satan. Understand this, man. My point when I was telling y'all about the whole everybody doing this and following them, know something, man. Who you follow when you on earth is who you gonna go with when you leave earth. Period, point blank. Ain't no ifs, ands, and buts. Ain't no none of that, man. There's not no none of that, man. It's not no